What's going on, people? If you found this video, it's probably because you are in the process of scheduling a hip surgery. You're just thinking about having the hip surgery, or you have already had the hip surgery and you're just wondering what other people's recovery has been like. I'm not 100% sure how this video is going to work out. I'm either going to do 0 to 6 months, or I'm going to do every 2 months. I'm going to release a video. We'll see how I feel after my surgery, which is next week. Let me tell you a little bit of history about myself. 15 years ago, I got into a pretty bad motorcycle accident and I dislocated my hip pretty bad. After about a year of physical therapy, I realized that, I thought that my hip was pretty much better. I could still feel a little bit of pain, but I thought that I just thought that it was going to get better. About 10 years went by, and, my hip kind of hurt the whole time, but, gradually the pain kind of got a little bit worse. So that leads up to 5 years ago when I said, my hip really hurts. I think I need to go back to the hip doctor. So I went to the hip doctor and he took some x-rays and he saw the amount of arthritis that was in my hip. And he said, I'm sorry to say, but you are in need of a total hip replacement. I'm 40 years old at this point, 5 years ago. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, how long do these hip replacements last? What is the surgery like? I'm only 40 years old. Shouldn't I be 70 when I get this? And he said, well, to be honest, he says, your hip is bad enough where I can schedule the surgery, now, and I can see you in about 3 months and we can get the surgery taken care of. He says, but depending on your pain level, I'd much prefer you be in your 50s or 60s to have this surgery. And I said, okay, is it possible for me to wait too long to decide to have this surgery? And he pretty much said, no, not really, because he says that the pain will just get bad and my limp will get worse. And eventually I won't be able to walk. So he says, before it's actually too late, I'll want to schedule the surgery. Now, 5 years later, I'm 45 years old, and I decided I need to have this surgery. And I'm actually having this surgery on Tuesday of next week. I'm obviously not a doctor at all, but if you people have never done any research on this, and this happens to be your first video, thanks, make sure you give it a thumbs up. But if this is the first time actually watching any type of video, I've got a couple of pictures that I just pulled off the internet of the implant, what it looks like, where it's going to go, and the different approaches. So let's pull up this first picture. This first picture here, it's a picture of your femur and your pelvis with the implant in it. This is what the implant looks like. The different components of the implant are the acetabular cup, the plastic liner, the femoral head, and the femoral stem. This is what it looks like once it's in your body. Here's an x-ray. This actually is not my hip. This is just, again, something that I pulled off the internet. And you see the little screws on there. Not all doctors put those screws in there. I guess they fit that cup. And if they feel like it needs to have the screws, they'll put the screws in. But then eventually your bone kind of goes around that acetabular cup, and then it keeps that cup in there, and then the screws are just sort of there for decoration every time you get an x-ray. There are 3 approaches to the surgery that doctors take. There's the posterior approach, which is the most common, which is basically they kind of come in through your butt cheek. It's a much longer incision. They kind of cut your butt muscle, in half to get to your hip. The least most common approach is the lateral, and that's kind of done down the side. And then the next most common approach is the anterior approach. And the anterior approach is actually growing in popularity here in the United States. I think they've been doing it for about 10 years here in the United States, but they've been doing it in the UK for much longer than that. And my particular doctor, he's been doing it for the last 7 years this way. He actually started doing it posteriorly, and then 7 years ago he decided he wanted to change and do it anteriorly. And that's the doctor that I've spoke to most recently, and he's a doctor that I'm going with, and he's doing my surgery in 2 days. Well, my surgery is on June 22nd, 2021, which is just a couple days from now. And the next time you guys see me will be post-op. So wish me luck, and I will see you guys in a couple days. My surgery was at 7:30. It is noon right now. I can move my feet, but lifting my left leg is a little bit heavy right now. In about 30 minutes, we're going to start some physical therapy. We're going to get out of bed. Otherwise, I feel pretty good. No pain, but I am on some pain meds right now. 10 days post-op. No cane. Okay, let's get myself situated here. Takes me a little bit more time because I am post-surgery. Yes, I'm still walking with my cane. I know you saw in my video just a few, probably a few seconds ago for you, me walking without my cane. Yes, I can walk without my cane a little bit here and around my house, but you know, I still rely on my cane pretty heavily. I want to take a really quick break from the progress videos that I was showing you guys and come downstairs and have a little bit more of a formal chat. Today is now July 6th, which is exactly 2 weeks after my complete total hip replacement surgery. I set up a few goals for myself. I spent a lot of time looking at videos online before my surgery, and I came up with a list of 4 goals. These goals are goals that I wanted to sort of accomplish within the first couple weeks post-surgery. And these goals I actually all kind of stole from other YouTube videos that I watched, so you guys may have heard some of them. The first goal is pain management. The second goal is swelling management. And my third goal is doctor restrictions. And the fourth goal is range of motion. Pain control is pretty obvious. Take your meds. You're not going to be able to do your physical therapy. You're not going to be able to get out of bed. You're not going to be able to walk around. You're not going to be able to do what the nurse wants you to do if you don't take your meds, especially the first week post-op. Swelling management. Some people, I guess their legs swell up quite a lot and their legs are swollen for a couple weeks after the surgery. I didn't have that happen to me. I did spend a lot of time, actually I spent most of my time lying on my back with my feet elevated. And the first day that my nurse came, she actually said that I didn't actually have my feet raised high enough. I just had my feet on basically 2 pillows that were side by side. She actually stacked up, she put a third pillow in the center so my legs were a little bit higher. She just said it was really important to make sure my legs stayed elevated to keep the fluid out of them. Another thing I did is after the physical therapy, I always used an ice pack. I put the ice pack on my surgical area. My third goal was restrictions, and I actually have 0 restrictions from the surgeon. The surgeon said that because I had the anterior surgery, there is 0 restrictions for me, which I thought was great. Even though there was 0 restrictions for me, my nurse told me, a few things. She says, obviously keep my legs together. If I lie down on my side, put a pillow in between my legs. She said don't bend past 90, and not bending past 90 is actually pretty easy. Easy to not do because you're so stiff. I mean, right now I'm actually bending past 90, a little bit past 90, but I'm 2 weeks post-op and technically I don't have any restrictions. But the nurse had said not to bend past 90, so I just figured on the safe side, don't bend past 90. And that's pretty much the only thing that the nurse told me to do. Another thing with range of motion goes right back to the first goal, which is pain management. If you don't take your pain meds, you're not going to be able to do your physical therapy. And if you're not able to do your physical therapy, you won't be able to put weight on your operative leg. And it's really important to start putting weight on your operative leg as soon as possible. Because if you notice the first time when I was walking, when I was in the hospital, that was a really short clip, but I was not putting any weight on my operative leg. And then the second clip, I wasn't putting many weight on my operative leg. The third clip, I was walking slower with the walker, but that's because I was starting to put weight on my hip. And if I wasn't putting weight on that, then by the 4th or 5th day, whichever one it was, when I started walking with the cane, there's no way I would have been able to walk with the cane. So it's really important to start putting weight on your operative leg, and you can't do that without pain meds. You saw my first day back to the gym. That was July 1st, which was 9 days after surgery. It was a really simple workout. I just spent a little bit of time on the bicycle. The first probably minute, I just sort of took my legs and I just went back and forth like this. I didn't do a full rotation until maybe, I don't know, a minute or so, or maybe 2 minutes into it. Then I slowly started to go forward, and I'm talking, I was going so slow that the bike actually thought that nobody was on it. It turned off. Initially when I started it, I set it to level 1 and I set it to 10 minutes, and it kept turning off on me. So I just left it off and I just pedaled nice and slowly, and I did that for 10 minutes, and there seemed to me no problems at all. Again, all those progress videos of me, I look like I'm a happy camper. I'm walking with my cane. Oh, you're thinking this guy, he's in no pain. This surgery is going to be easy. There is pain. There is pain, but it's a different kind of pain. I don't have pain in my joint. I can move my leg around, especially now 2 weeks after. I can move my leg, all over the place, and I have no joint pain. You guys and gals know the joint pain that I'm talking about. but that pain is completely gone. The pain that I have now is just swelling. I have swelling, all around my the incision, and my whole hip, and almost all the way down to my knee. It's just feels like I pulled a muscle, or I pulled all my muscles, because I guess technically they did. They moved my muscles out of the way when they did the surgery, and then they put the muscles back together. So there is pain and discomfort and trouble sleeping, but like I said, stay on the pain meds. The pain meds help you with the physical therapy. The pain meds will also help you sleep. My next appointment is actually in the hospital, and it's with my surgeon, and they're actually going to take the bandage off my leg. I to this day have not seen the incision. There's a waterproof gauze, waterproof dressing that's over it, and that's been there, and I haven't taken it off. The doctor said not to take it off, but on Friday of this week, which is in 2 days, that will come off. And as soon as I see what that scar looks like, I'll show it to you guys. That's enough boring chit chat for me. Let's go back to some more progress videos. Wish me luck, and I'll see you soon. Welcome back to the incredibly boring part of this video. How about that scar? 2 weeks? 4 weeks. 2 weeks? 4 weeks. 2 weeks? 4 weeks. And my wife thinks it's pretty gross. She said don't put it in the video, but hey, it's in the video. So 2 to 4 weeks. The biggest changes were my range of motion and about how long I could be on my feet without getting tired. The first 2 weeks, if I went to the store, I'd come home and I'd have to take a nap. But now 4 weeks out, I can go to the store and I can come home and, I'm not really that tired. Depends on how active I am when I'm out. My hip might be a little on the sore side, and I put a little ice on it, and it's good to go. The last clip of me dancing with my daughter, to be honest, that was a bit much. I did hurt my hip a little. I didn't hurt my hip, but I felt it a little bit, and was a little bit sore afterwards. But it was totally worth it, and my daughter loved it. Anyways, if anybody has any questions at all about my recovery, please don't hesitate to leave them in the comment section below. Also, let me know if you're interested in seeing my progress up to 6 months, 6 months post-op. If you made it this far in the video, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Have yourself a great day, and remember, there is light at the end of your recovery. I'm only 4 weeks out and very happy with my progress. Lots more to come. Peace, love, and chicken grease.